In today's show, Conor Bergin from Blazers Edge joins the program, and we talk Blazers X Factor. Who's the player that can change this season? Welcome to Locked On Blazers. Let's get into it.
You are Locked On Trailblazers, your daily Portland Trailblazers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
What's up, world? It's your past first point guard and Trailblazers reporter, Mike Richmond. You're listening to another episode of Locked On Blazers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, available wherever you get podcasts and also on YouTube. Thanks for making this show your first listen, coming at you each and every weekday, Monday through Friday. So make it a part of your daily routine. Make it your first listen. Tell your friends to do the same. It's Locked On Blazers, your team every day. In today's program, making his return trip, maybe his third return trip, multi-time guest, friend of the program. Welcome back, Conor Bergin from Blazers Edge. Conor, how you doing?
Good. Yeah, this is my third time. Third time's the charm on the program. Always an honor, Mike, to join you on Locked On Blazers. So thanks for having me back.
I know that one time you told me that you got on and you had a friend, like a group text or whatever. Friends were like, you were on Locked On Blazers. I bet the shine is worn off. They're like, whatever.
No, that was my brother, and the shine is still there. And he didn't say you were on Locked On Blazers. He said you were with the past first point guard. That was his exact words. So your nickname, I don't know if he knew Mike Richmond exactly, but he knew the nickname, and I think that's more important.
One time I was at a children's birthday party. I have a child under 4, under 3 indeed. But like I was at a children's birthday party for like someone in that age range, and someone from across the party was like, "Pass first point guard," and I was like, I knew I would find my people here. Hello, fellow dad. I knew you'd be here. But today we're not just going to talk about positions that I play and pick up basketball, but we are here to talk. We're here to talk X factors, not pass first point guard, X factors. And I'm just going to read you the exact pitch I sent to Conor. And this is kind of the genesis of this podcast idea. I said, Conor, I got a pitch for you. Who is the Blazers X factor this season? Not like the dude they'll rely on, but the guy, quote, if he hits, changes the trajectory. And if he doesn't, they're kind of screwed. So we're going to pitch each of our own X factors for the Blazers season. We'll kind of go back and forth and see where we land. If we do get an ultimate X factor, or if we end up with 15 X factors, because the whole thing is made out of factors. Okay, so with that pitch in mind, Conor, I think I sent this to you like a week ago. You've had 7 or 8 days to marinate on this. Who's your X factor, or who did you consider in this process? Let's start there. Like, who were the names when you heard that sort of swirled around in your head?
I mean, to be honest, the one name that was there the first day and it stayed all through the week until now was Shaedon Sharpe. And he's the talk of the town during training camp right now. And this answer is also, it's doubling as an announcement, Mike, because I'm starting like a movement or a collective called the Start Shaedon Sharpe Agenda. We are going to get some shirts, some hats. We think it is for the good of the organization that he is in the starting lineup for the short term and the long term. And we are looking for more people to join the cause. So, of course, you would be a pretty elevated public figure to join this movement if you would want to.
I'm not going to campaign for start Shaedon Sharpe necessarily, because I don't think the first quarter matters. But if Shaedon Sharpe's not on the court at the end of the game, then what is the point of any of this, right? It's like, I don't, the starting lineup matters to players and obviously matters to fans and all of those things. And also like the fact that the Blazers have set up this situation where he might not be a starting shooting guard as talented as he is in his 4th season, blah, blah. It's like, that's just a whole organizational choice that they've made over the course of several seasons to get themselves to this place. But like, yeah, sure. I am. I'm down with the cause.
An enthusiastic, sure. We'll take it.
But my rally is actually for the end of the game. if Shaedon Sharpe is not on the court when it matters with 5 minutes to go in the game, what is the point of having a basketball team? You might as well just where do people think this team's moving to? Montreal, Nashville, Vegas. Pack them up, okay? Pack them up, because we don't deserve nice things if that's the sort of method here. But I don't think I'm worried about that. I might be worried about that when the season starts, but I don't think I'll be worried about that. But to you, he has to start, right? Like, to you, it is vital.
It's important. Also, I mean, finishing the game, I think, is just as important, but it doesn't really fit like a really proper flashy
I agree.
slogan.
And you can't get mad immediately. So that's important to the movement. You can't get mad immediately when the game starts, or even a few hours before the game starts when the starting lineups get announced.
But like, to give like a more, I guess, serious response to the question, like, I did think about Denny Avdia a little bit, but he's like, X Factor just doesn't really. He's the
A factor. He's the A factor.
He's the A factor.
They need him to be really good, or they're going to suck. Yeah, I agree. I kind of feel the same way about Shaedon Sharpe, spoiling it a little bit. But yeah.
Well, the thing I thought about Shaedon Sharpe is, I don't think like he could have basically the same year as last year. He can kind of be like around 20 points a game. Some days he pops off. Like, some days he's really inefficient, kind of disappears for stretches. Just kind of like a hot and cold sixth man, occasional starter. And I think the season, I think the Blazers could still, with their defense and like, you know, this kind of like one for all team mentality, they could get into the play-in still, and even maybe like overachieve and get into the first round of the playoff. And we would all have the exit interviews, and it would be big pats on the back, say, hey, we made the steps we want to do, and people could feel good about themselves going into the summer. But the problem is, if that happens, I think the steps next year of like, how do you go from like a fringe playoff team to a team with genuine playoff success, that becomes way trickier if Shaedon Sharpe or somebody doesn't pop and become like a star level talent or start to flirt with it. And for all the Denny Avdia fans out there, and I know they're there, I'm not saying I think Denny Avdia is nearing star level, but he can't be the only one. And
you need lots of good players to win.
You need lots of them.
I think that's the simplest explanation here, is that you're going to need several good players in order to win.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I agree with the Shaedon Sharpe ultimate ceiling idea of this. So if you view it as the X factor for the organization, is that they absolutely need, I mean, to win a playoff series, 2 playoff series, compete to win a 3rd playoff series, right? Like, much less 4th. You know, I know they want to win 16 games in the playoffs, but but you got to build. It's true. It's winning time, but maybe not. They need 2 all-stars probably, like, realistically, to compete. You know, they need 2 dudes who are all-star level. I just think that the bar is really, really high, or you need one of, the 10 or 12 best players in the NBA. As good as Denny Avdia is, he's probably not going to be that on his own. And even if he is that on his own, they still are going to need really, really good players. So I do agree with the X factor and sort of the overall. It's hard for me to envision a good version of the Blazers that doesn't include a really, really good version of Shaedon Sharpe. I don't see this iteration of the Blazers popping without Shaedon Sharpe getting there. So in the macro, I think he's your X factor. I 100% agree that he's the X factor for them. But what I would sort of, I guess where my mind went, and I'll share this with you in a moment, is like, you mentioned kind of like, what if Shaedon's kind of just like what he was? Like, what if he, like, even low end outcome, he's probably not going to be much worse than he was last year, right? Like, I kind of think like, even like a quote unquote bad year, he's going to average like 17 and be their second or their 3rd leading scorer or whatever, but I would agree that, like, to my thesis, if he stinks, it breaks it. So like, so you consider Denny, you consider Shaedon Sharpe. What, I guess, let me ask you this, and then we can move on. What do you think like a low end Shaedon Sharpe outcome is? Like, what do you think like sort of a floor type of production for Sharpe would be?
Yeah, like I don't really see him regressing at all. I do think it's just he continues to like tantalize for a few weeks and then disappear for a few weeks, and never just fully puts it together with consistency.
Yeah.
And the 3-point shot, like he's got to shoot
Yeah.
better than 31%.
What
Like,
position does he play? What do you
he
think his
plays
position
shooting
is?
guard. So
Yeah, so that
like,
to me that's an important one. He's gonna have to shoot.
that's an important part, and that's I guess a little more. I think that is more up in the air as far as his progression this year. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about high end Shaedon Sharpe outcomes, because I agree with you. I think I don't know, I think the low end outcome isn't that much different. It's like, yeah, he's good, but it ends with a but he's not. You have less hope about what he becomes. But I want to ask you about high end outcomes. Like, we've seen him play one preseason game as we're recording this, and he was really good in that one. He was really stinking good in that one preseason game. Let's talk about like what the best version of Sharpe looks like, and then I'll share my X Factor thoughts with you on the other side. Join us there, won't you? First, I want to tell you that today's show is brought to you by PrizePicks. Don't miss the excitement of this football season with PrizePicks, where it's good to be right. Playing PrizePicks is such a fun, simple way to add excitement to football. You just pick more or less on player projections, like, say, Josh Allen's passing yards or Saquon Barkley's rushing touchdowns, and you're in the game. You can make your lineup super quick, under a minute if you're fast and decisive. Plus, they just added stacks. So if you want to juice your lineup with a single player and, say, select their pass yards, their rush yards, and their touchdowns all in one single lineup, well, PrizePicks lets you do that now. You can also follow other players in the app, and if you see a lineup you like, you can do a one-click copy and add their lineup to your sheet as well. So download the PrizePicks app today and use the code LOCKEDONNBA to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. You don't even have to win. That's code LOCKEDONNBA for $50 in lineups after your first $5 lineup. PrizePicks, it's good to be right. I want to tell you that today's show is also brought to you by the good folks over there at DUER. You know what they're doing? They're making really comfortable jeans. My favorite jeans, in fact. I'm rocking the Relaxed Fit Taper. You'll see me doing what I do in them. So, like, if I need to go to work, well, DUER makes pants that are presentable and look good. If I need to go out to dinner or somewhere that I need to look nice, well, you can rock your DUER jeans and look nice, but they're also 5 times stretchier than traditional denim. So if you are running around, if you are running errands, or you're just chilling at home, you're going to be super comfortable. DUER invented the performance denim. They are the innovators that made the jeans for doing. So get these comfortable jeans and go do stuff. You're going to love these jeans. I really know you will. So how about this? The new era of denim is arriving in Portland because DUER are opening up a new store on Northwest 23rd. In October, you can go visit them at 820 Northwest 23rd Avenue. And if you visit them in store, be sure to use my promo code LOCKEDONPortland to get 15% off your order on your first visit. Or you can visit their website, shopduer.com/LockedOnPortland for 15% off. That's shopduer.com for 15% off. All right, still chatting here with Conor Bergin of Blazers Edge. Conor, what is the best Shaedon Sharpe look like for you this year? Like, if it clicks and he's the X factor and he's the guy who just like lifts the Blazers to heights that they do end up patting themselves on the back and it feels like earned, what does that look like?
I think he establishes himself as a primary scorer on offense. Because they don't have a guy who can score at all 3 levels, and that has that versatile of an offensive skill set, plus the top 1% athleticism to his game. So he gets his 3-point shot to 35%, but it's not the stuff that annoyed me last year with Shaedon was that it seems like he would use his 3-point shot as like a crutch or like a settle. Like it wasn't like he was it didn't always look like he knew what he wanted to do, and then at the end he just okay, I'm going to step back and shoot a 3. If he starts hunting his shots more deliberately and getting up 5 threes a game on top of attacking the rim as the main part of his game and using that mid-range, that's when I think you can start to see just him becoming like a huge like net positive on the Blazers offense that starts to make other things go, because they don't have like Denny is an engine who's going to be driving a lot, but it's a different
He's like a
kind of
downhill bully,
gravity.
though. He is a
Yeah.
hammer. He's just a hammer. He just downhill. Like the thing that is special about Denny is that you know what he's going to do, and then he goes and does it. But he's not like, and he's like creative. I'm not trying to sell him short, right? I think he's Blazers' best player last year, but like, he is. His deliberate style is what makes him special, and he's going to go right. He's going to go hard to his right. He's going to shed you with his left shoulder and score and get fouled and all those things. But he's not the throw you the ball with 7 seconds left and he'll get whatever shot you need and you'll feel good about it type of guy. He's he's a different type of player.
So Shaedon, if he could turn into the Blazers closer or just the go-to closer, that would be a huge success, I think, for the season.
I'm going to allow you to overreact. Listen, this is not a wise thing to do on the microphone, but boy, did he look good against the Warriors. He looked so good.
That was a dream.
Yeah. Okay. So what stood out to you? What specifically about that was the dream? Like what were the sort of moments where you're like, oh yeah, that's it?
It was just sort of, one, it was the constant aggression all game. Like he was looking to shoot right away. And then, like I said earlier, it wasn't just settling for step back threes. He was kind of doing everything. It was like,
yep.
Now I'm gonna sidestep into a three because I got you to do a pump fake. Now I'm gonna drive and do have a pretty damn good like float game.
Yes.
Some of the in the mid range too. Some of it, when I was watching the highlights, it reminded me a little bit of CJ McCollum, and I don't know if that was. I'm curious if you think that's a ridiculous pull to bring up, but just
it wasn't the wrong foot
seen...
floater. He didn't have that wrong foot floater that CJ had, or the lefty floater. But I do agree that it was maybe his first bucket, which was he drove and kind of got caught maybe like 6 feet by the defense and just comfortably went into a right hand floater and it went down like over a guy. It's just like, oh yeah, that's useful. Mm-hmm. Like that's really, if you do all the other things he does, and you have that in your bag too. I thought, yeah, I don't know if it was reminding me of CJ, but I definitely noted the floater right away. I was like, oh yeah, that's a money move for him.
He just looked comfortable too. Like he looked in control the entire time. Nothing looked forced.
Yeah. Yeah. I thought what I really liked about it is that he's like, I know what I want to do on this possession. When I come off the screen, I want to look for my mid range. But if the mid range isn't there, I am going downhill. No hesitation. Just like right. He played with just great pace. Like I thought he was really good there. He's probably not going to make 4 threes every half that he plays, right? Like even if he improves a lot as a shooter, he's probably not going to make 4 threes every half that he plays. So like, you're trying to bake in some sort of like rational, that was a better shooting night. Not that he's not capable of it, just that's not like an average night for him. But boy, if he's like you said 5 threes a game. I'm thinking like Shaedon Sharpe taking 10 threes a game. Like I'm talking like, okay, yeah. So some of my doubts with Shaedon Sharpe is that I don't know what else he does. I thought he was fine on defense against the Warriors. I thought he actually made a couple nice passes in the first quarter, like a couple drive and kick out, nice, smart passes. I think last season he showed some flashes as a playmaker where it's like he doesn't read it very quickly, but every so often he makes these passes that are like, damn, like that is a dime, right? But I don't know if that's going to be a big part of his game forever, right? Maybe that never is. So what I want him to be is a volume scorer. Like I want him to shoot a lot, because I think like the best version of him is a high end efficient scorer. So like, yeah, I want him to take 8 or 9 threes a night, because because if he gets up to league average and is a guy who takes a lot of threes and cuts out maybe 2 of those long twos, hooper, right? That's how you go from 18 to 24 a game pretty simply, right? So it's just a little more volume, more accuracy.
It is pretty crazy that he got almost to 20 points a game last season while shooting 31%.
Yeah,
like just
yeah,
changing
and
that one
also
thing.
he was
Yeah, there's so
an
many more
elite
points.
finisher the second half of the season, like in the 95th percentile among his at his position, but also like among the best in the league just at his size. Period, finishing in the high 70 percentile or high 70% of the rim for like the second half of the season without shooting, without the threat. It's not like he was driving closeouts, right? He was just like getting downhill and using his shoulders to get past people and using his strength. Like the shooting unlocks so much. Okay, I filibustered so long. We're 2/3 into the show. We've talked one X factor. I haven't given you mine, but like a true podcaster, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you in the third segment. Join us on the other side. I will give you my X factors and kind of how I thought about this, and then Conor can tell me why. Like the obvious choice was Shaedon Sharpe. Why was I overthinking this? Join us in that third segment, and we will do just that. Today's show is also brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season's here. FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers to FanDuel can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. It's pretty simple. You pick a bet you like, you put down $5, and if it hits, you unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the FanDuel app. There's so many ways to wager if you want to get into it. You can build parlays. You can mess around with player props. You can even follow games live and bet the action as it happens, by play, by quarter, by half, what have you. Or if you want to just go money lines and spreads, FanDuel's got all of that as well. It adds another layer to your football watching experience. If you're going to be on the couch and already checking out the games, why not check out FanDuel and add something else to your viewing experience? What are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com and download the FanDuel app today to get started. Today's show is also brought to you by the good folks over at Quo. You've heard me talk about Quo before. In fact, there used to be known as Open Phone. It's the same great business phone system you've heard me talk about. They just got the new name. And here's why it matters. Every missed call is money left on the table. When every customer conversation counts, you need a phone system that keeps you connected 24/7. And Quo is the #1 business phone system that streamlines customer communications. It works through an app on your phone or on your computer, so there's no more carrying two phones around or relying on that landline at work. Instead, Quo, formerly known as Open Phone, lets your team share one number and collaborate on all calls and texts. So you got a shared inbox, so no customer gets left hanging. So whether you're a solo operator and juggling everything at your small business or part of a larger team, Quo makes it easy to stay responsive and professional. See why over 90,000 businesses trust Quo, formerly Open Phone. Get started free at and to get 20% off your first 6 months at quo.com/lockedonnba. That's QUO.com/lockedonnba. And if you've got an existing number with another service, Quo will port it over at no extra charge. Quo, no missed calls, no missed customers. Still a pass first point guard, still Mike Richmond, still listening to Locked On Blazers, still chatting here with, I don't know, kind of like strong right-hand drive combo guard, Conor Bergin.
Wow. Do I show to the right a lot? I didn't
No, but you do like it in and out with your right hand to keep the ball in your
Yeah.
right hand. That's a quick scout for those of you playing Conor in the future.
Yeah, you know what? And that just shows that my jump shot was really off during our summer runs this summer, and I really hyped it up to you. So that was disappointing.
You did have some good shooting games, but I don't think you shot at the level that you wanted to feel like I'm a true shooter.
Yeah.
So
it was inefficient, high volume shooting output.
Well, you were playing road games. You know, you're coming into our gym playing road games. It's tough for you. Okay, so when I sent this to you, I had two names, and I thought you were going to pick the first one without a doubt. Because my idea was like, for me, like Denny Avdia, cross him off the list. He's not an X factor. He's A factor. If Denny Avdia is not good, they suck. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't like if they need him. I don't think Donovan Clingan can be an X factor because they just are too reliant on him. Not an X factor, an A factor, B factor, right? The minutes they play without Donovan Clingan this year could be really dicey. And that's a lot on his plate. And maybe you would consider, maybe some other folks would consider that an X factor type of thing. But for me, no, too important to what they do. I thought about Toumani Camara. He's on my list. Because if Toumani pops, like he shot so well, and he shot a bunch of threes in that first game. And I love the volume because I want him to be a high volume shooter. Like they just need to get up threes. Like they're a team that's going to need to figure out how to way to generate offense and generate, off driving kicks. And I like the idea of Tumani Kamara becoming, he's a good 3-point shooter last year. Up the volume, like send it that way. But I also think he's steady enough on defense that he can't really be an X factor. I think he's going to play a lot, although he has some X factor qualities, because if the shooting pops and then he starts to be able to drive closeouts, and Tumani Kamara is a dude who can shoot and attack in straight lines off the dribble and finish at the rim, Hooper. He's going to be very, very good. So then I landed on two guys. The first is Sterling Scoot Henderson, because they don't really have a point guard on the roster that isn't named Scoot. Drew Holiday's not really a point guard. He's a good basketball player, but he's not really a true point guard, and never really has been in his career. He's been a decent pick and roll partner with like Anthony Davis for a long time, but he's never been like a true point, right? He's been a combo guy and an off ball guy, and he's like almost like a wing, 6'2" wing on the Celtics last year, just because he played off the ball so much. So like Scoot. And I'm curious about your opinion on this. I felt like watching the way the Blazers played offense last night, with how open it was and how quickly they played and how often they just tried to sort of like get an advantage in semi-transition. I can see Scoot fitting in really cleanly into that style. Like he has a lot of questions about whether he can make layups and stuff, but like stylistically it seemed to fit Scoot. What did you see that at all?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, it's all about just getting downhill and kind of like creating chaos. And Scoot, I think Chauncey even called him a chaos creator. Like it did seem tailor-made for these exact things that Scoot Henderson does well. Also tailor-made for the exact things that Blake Wesley does well. But that's a different level of.
I mean, listen, Blake Wesley
different level of the game, I guess,
is a perfect trailblazer. He's fast, plays defense, might not be able to shoot.
that is the archetype.
They're like, we have to get another one of these. we found another defender who maybe can't shoot. Thank goodness we've got another one of these to add to the collection. No, I thought Wesley was good in game one. I'm a little dicey on what he does in the half court, but I thought for what I expect him to be, I thought he checked that box heavy in game one. So I didn't end up with Scoot, although I do think Scoot is a big X factor because they're lacking his position, and I think what they want to do fits what he wants to do better than it has in the past. He doesn't have to play, whatever whatever position he plays when it's called watch Anthony Simons. He's like, all right, you get in there and watch.
I believe it's stand in the corner. I think is
stand in the corner.
The words
hey, get in there and watch Anthony Simons, young man. Listen, we love the way you're playing. We want you to get in there and watch Anthony Simons. Will do, coach. No problem. You want me to stand on the left side or the right side when I'm watching? So Scoot's up there for me. But my X factor, and this is probably wrong based on what we saw in preseason, is none other than the man himself, young handsome, Young Hansen.
Oh, whoa! I thought you were about to go Jeremy Grant all of a sudden. I did not expect.
It is none other than because. Okay, here's my thinking. He has to play. Even if he's going to struggle, and he struggled in the preseason game one, whatever, not a meaningful enough minutes, but like he was bad enough that it was like, okay, this could be a while. Like we are maybe a ways away from this being a thing, but he has to play because DUER is just not big enough to play like consistent major minutes. Like he could play 8 or 9 minutes a night and it's not that big of a deal. But if you need him to play 20 minutes, you're just not that good. I love DUER. It's one of my favorite stories in the league. He's an incredibly nice dude. But if you're trying to make the playoffs in the West or whatever, like I don't think you can trot him out as a every single night player and expect to be competitive just because the size and athleticism combo. I don't know what you do with Rob Williams, right? Because like I don't think it would be fair to me to say, well, if Rob Williams plays 60 games, because come on, he's not going to play 60 games. We're what, 12 days away from opening night. He hasn't been cleared to play yet. He hasn't
not cleared for full contact.
Yeah. Like I don't think I can pencil him in for like big minutes, big role, right? I think you're thinking like you get about 30 games of Rob and you get about 18-ish minutes a night when he plays. I think that's like a realistic number. So you have another 50 games to factor in backup center minutes. That's Hansen. he has to play. And so if he's good, like if he becomes a useful player in this season, I think it changes their trajectory so much. And if he's not capable of being that, which is a very reasonable thing for him to be because he's 20 years old, making the jump from a lesser league to the NBA, those non-Klingon minutes could be dicey. Am I putting too much on his plate? Like, am I, because I think we looked at this very differently. What is your take on that?
Yeah, I think I was thinking, because you said they're basically screwed for this season in the X Factor prompt. Yeah. And I think I was just thinking more like in the grand picture, like the grand scheme of it. Because with Hansen, I thought if he's not that good, they have Klingon at the center spot, and like they could go get a backup if he's not ready yet.
Right. You trade Matisse Thybulle for a backup center, and you figure it out. Yeah, I would agree with that. And I totally agree with your take that the overarching X factor, the thing that's going to change the altitude of the franchise one way or another, is the development of Shaedon Sharpe for the most part. Could be Scoot too, but I think the development of Shaedon Sharpe just because he's a little further along right now. That's the thing that changes. So I would do agree with that take in the bigger picture, but like say like give me like before Thanksgiving, Hansen is going to he's going to play on opening night, right? Like he's going to be their backup center on opening night.
Yeah, no, they definitely they need him for sure. And so I think you attacked it the right way of like where's the biggest hole, and yeah, like who can make or break it based on that. It kind of reminds me of like the last year that Dame was here before he left when they had Drew Eubanks as the backup center, which like loved the Shaq of Troutdale, but like it kind of felt like any serious plans towards like contending or going for the playoffs needed to not have an undersized center be the backup. And so I could see if Hansen is not ready, like just, that being a huge, a problem they would maybe need to fix at the trade deadline if they're serious about like getting into the first round.
Yeah, it strikes me as a little bit odd, and maybe they see it and I haven't seen the picture, but it strikes me as a little bit odd that they made a lot of moves that are like, we're going to be good right away. And then they kind of also create a roster where it's like, and also there's our backup center. Like he's a dude who's like, he's just a developmental player, right? Like he is like in a very normal way for a guy picked 16th in the NBA draft who's 20 years old. He's like, he's going to need a little more time before he's positively impactful. Like I think even as good as Klingon was, like that game he had in November against the Wolves last year, we had 8 blocks and 5 in the fourth quarter, where it's like, like that's kind of an outlier level defensive impact as a rookie. And Klingon had some warts. Like he wasn't very good on offense at all. And relying on any rookie, even if they're good, like Klingon was an all rookie performer, right? Even if they're good, it's hard to like win a lot. So I think talking with you, I feel like I maybe putting too much on Hansen with my X Factor label, because maybe they just go another way. Like, do you think they could play small?
I was going to say they could go small ball, like get Denny, like even like Jeremy.
How viable is that though? Like how viable is that? Do you think like I don't know, we haven't really seen it, so it's hard to know, but what's your gut on like, is that a thing you can get away with 12 minutes a night or something? Like, what do you think?
Yeah. And I also just think it's like if we play really, really hard during the regular season, we can kind of like gloss over that issue, and then it would maybe doom them in the playoffs. But as far as like we're going to play harder than you regular season team, and we're going to go fast, and I think you could get away with it.
Right. You might, if you're trying to win, half your games or whatever, which is a very realistic goal and obviously would be improvement from last year. I'm not poo-pooing winning half your games, obviously, but like, I do think I could buy that line of thinking that it's like, hey, this is not a great matchup for us, but our style, we're going to try to dictate the style by being, faster and smaller and like force teams to play to us as opposed to play the other way. They haven't really done that in the Chauncey era. I think that would be a fun adjustment if they were like, they've usually been more reactive with the way they've played as opposed to, but they also just haven't been as talented. And so you have to be reactive sometimes. So I think, I hadn't considered that. I hadn't considered that as a sort of like the team. They're the team that's, I think, didn't Chauncey say once he wants to be the team that punches first? I think they had
I
lost
think,
60
more or
though
less.
in that week or something like that. It was like a little. It was a different.
Well,
the vibe was different. But yeah, but I like in the same vein that you're suggesting here, like the team that forces the other team to play the way they want. I think there's something to that for sure.
And also, I think I'm feeling a little bit more nervous about, and it's one preseason game, but like if you had asked me before this preseason game, I'd be like, yeah, Hansen after Summer League, he's ready to make an impact. Like, look how he looked. Look how he looked in Summer League. Now I want to see the rest of the preseason like play out and just see. Like right now, I'm not concerned, but it's definitely something I'm going to be watching more closely than I was.
Okay, let's close exactly right there. Dear listener, you listen to Friday, October 10th program. This evening, Connor and I will be in the gym to watch the Blazers play a preseason game against the Kings. What's your like number one thing you want to see? Like, what's the thing that you say like this is the type of step I want to see from this group?
Just do the same thing, basically. I think also like see what happens when you don't shoot the three like crazy in the first half and see if they're still looking so good. Because they came out on fire. And I also think preseason benefits teams that play really hard. And the Blazers, their whole like culture right now is that they make them uncomfortable and play hard. So just seeing it sustain for multiple games.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'd like to see them play really well when I think they were 12 of 28 in the first half from three against the Warriors off the top of my head, which is like above 42%. It's like you're just probably not going to have that many games, even if you're the best shooting team in the league. But I guess the difference would be you make 10 of 28. But it's like if they have a bad shooting night, right? Like, are they in the fight? Does the offense look as money when the Toumani Camara 4-jab step 3-pointer from the corner doesn't go in? Because I feel like that kind of covers it up. It's like that particular possession. It's like, what is this? And then he swishes it and you're like, nice shot. you're like, that was sick. Nice shot. But it's like, I feel like the feel of the game maybe gets painted. Like it's hard to ignore the swishes, right? And boy, were there a lot of swishes. It's hard to ignore them. So I'd like to see them play at the same sort of like comfort pace, aggression that they did, even if the shots aren't falling. And I think they're capable of that. I also think like we just won't learn anything in preseason. I think as good as they looked against the Warriors, it's like you will have a baseline of confidence, but then it gets real, and like the regular season is a different beast. It'll be because you'll get 35 minutes of NBA players trying to win the game.
And it was last season that they just like beat the brakes off the Jazz, and then that was the finale of the preseason, and then the regular season opener lost by 30 to the Warriors.
Yeah, the worst season opening loss in franchise history, and it was like, like it was immediately like, oh no, and then like they really need to not have the starts they've had. Obviously, like that's like wow, like this is an incredible insight. If the Blazers want to be better, they need to not lose as many games early in the season. That's like the type of stuff that you're not getting on other podcasts. This Locked On Blazers special is like if the Blazers
you call it like you see it though. It is what it is.
Yeah, if
the
Blazers
start
are going to
35 points down.
Yeah, if you are like getting thrashed on night one and you're kind of picking up the pieces, it doesn't put you in the you're not the momentum is not building, even if momentum is fake. Connor, you got anything fun that you want to point listeners to coming at Blazers Edge?
Yes. Yeah. I'm doing a lot of writing at Blazers Edge, game recaps, practice reports. I'm doing a podcast. I'm back with Brandon Mullen on the We Like the Blazers podcast. Join us on our journey. We do it weekly. And also, hold on. I'm at your local Fred Meyer in the Athlon Sports.
Let's go!
NBA preview. I did the Blazers team preview for that magazine. So go read some physical media, bring it back.
That's sweet.
Read it in the checkout line. Just read the Blazers section. Check that out.
I love it. We here at Locked On Blazers, we love physical media. We love it. You'll note my many Rip City magazine collections behind me. My many issues of Rip City magazine. Dear listeners, come back for more shows next week. We'll do 5 of them. We'll have more guests. It's what we do 5 days a week, wherever you get podcasts, also on YouTube. I appreciate you listening. Connor, thanks so much for joining us. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks, Mike.
Dear listeners, come back. I will talk to you soon.